especially the Usos have never actually competed on a WrestleMania card. They've always been pre-show.
Pre-show? That sucks, man.
I was like, dude, the work those guys are doing. But like, same thing with New Day. Like, I feel New Day should have been on last year's.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they were the host, whatever. But
well, we thought they were going to come out for that second when they came out. And we were
Right.
like, oh my God, they're going to insert themselves in the match. Oh shit, it's the fucking Hardys instead.
Yeah.
That was a cool moment.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us here again. Again, this is the Freebird Rule Pro Wrestling Podcast. Your hosts in order here. I'm Aaron.
Adam.
We're going alphabetical order. Aaron and Adam and then Kyle. I see how it is. I'm last.
Yeah.
That's the way it rolls, man.
All right. That's. I'm used to it. All right.
Yeah. Or just
A-A-K.
clockwise. That also works.
Well,
Whoever's
we are sitting like a clock. You're right.
So right now, we talked about what we thought about, our predictions for the Rumble last time, and we're just gonna, we're doing our post Rumble show. So we're gonna talk about what we thought of the show.
The Prumble.
The Prumble.
The post Rumble. Rumble.
Is that like the preamble?
Yeah.
After.
Yeah. So it's the post amble.
Yeah.
Do we have to talk about every match? Because clearly we know what the important matches were
Yeah.
for the Rumble. I didn't watch, as I told you guys earlier, I did not watch the full show.
Yeah.
I watched the 2 Rumble matches. That's all I cared about.
Yeah,
Everything
Spoiler
else-
that's really-
alert, we talked to each other before we started recording.
What? Dun dun dun.
You should check out the Triple Threat.
The Triple Threat?
Yeah.
Dude.
It's a car crash. It's fun.
You don't want to stare, but you can't
It's
look away.
only like 6 minutes long. Like skip all the introductions and like just bell to bell. It's things happen. It's fun, crazy.
I think I'd rather watch the handicap match.
That was a good match too.
The handicap was interesting. The ending on that one was interesting because there room for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to complain, which is always their thing because someone didn't make a tag.
Yep. I know, it's actually funny because I was sitting there watching the referee and what was going on. As soon as that happened, I was like, he wasn't a legal man. Like, that shouldn't count at all. And then I was like, oh, yeah, okay, I get it.
You're just referee.
I was
complaining.
so in referee mode, and I was just like, he's not the legal man. This ref is not paying attention. He should have been counting. But, that happens sometimes.
Yeah. That's usually when Kyle starts getting boos from the audience when he's reffing.
He's not the legal man. I can't. What? They look the same.
Come on, Kyle.
A little bit of twin magic.
No. But yeah, really, like you said on there, the only ones that are really, really important are the two Rumble matches. So, go in chronological order on here and talk about the men's Rumble match first.
I thought it was cool. Lots of cool stuff. Obviously, the Rumble match that we were all hoping to get after having such crap Rumbles.
What, 5 years Rumbles have been disappointing?
Like I said, the last good winner was Del Rio. Really? That was a 40-man? Was it 2011?
Yeah.
Yeah.
7 years ago.
Yeah, that's insane. It's insane to be that long to have, cheered Rumble winner everybody's happy with.
Yeah.
And everybody's excited for Mania.
Yeah, I think the same thing. I thought it was a really strong men's Rumble match from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Rusev starting it off and Balor starting it off was awesome. I'm into this already.
That pop for Rusev.
Dude, Rusev Day. It's my favorite day of the year.
I particularly enjoyed. Oh, great! Now I can't think of his name.
Come on.
I got kids.
Oh,
Heath Slater.
Heath Slater.
Yeah.
Heath Slater's whole bit about everyone coming through and punching him in the face before getting into the Rumble.
It took him a while. Who ended up throwing him into the ring?
Sheamus.
Sheamus
threw him in, and then Sheamus got kicked out. Did he break a record? Did they say?
I think he did.
Did he break Santino's?
He was 0.8 seconds, I think I saw.
Finally beat
Santino was 1 second. So.
Did he really have to break it? Santino, that's something that would happen to Santino. Sheamus is a former multi-time world champion in WWE.
I think it just kind of happened. I don't think it was intended to break any sort of record. It just kind of like, well, that was quick.
It's Daniel Bryan being involved as a general manager. It's like, oh, you know what's going to happen now? Oh, this is revenge for that one time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The 18-second. Oh, God, man. That match still hurts. Like, Daniel Bryan, like, won the championship at 30, and it was amazing. But still, like, what was that? I remember watching it with you, Adam.
Right.
Aaron, did you come with us then? When we were going to Sneakers? That was before your time, I thought.
Yeah.
And I was so excited for Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus. Like, I was so excited.
Yeah.
And then match started, and, like, I blinked, and it was over, and I was just pissed. And that was actually the one time that my dad has ever come to watch wrestling with me, like, since I was a kid. And he just laughed his ass off. He thought it was so funny that I was so mad. But, whatever.
Yeah. So Daniel Bryan may have gotten that in. Well, that and the fact that, Sheamus had a match, like, right after.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't need to be in there that long.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't really need to be in there at all, but it was kind of a funny moment.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe a spot that could have gone to someone else, to do something a little bit more, potentially, but obviously that's not the route they wanted to go.
Who are the surprise entrants on there? You've got the
surprise
stats pulled up.
entrance, of course, from
Stat guy Adam.
NXT. We had Andrade Cien Almas.
Yay!
With a
number
good
7.
showing.
Very
Excellent
good
showing.
showing. He
Good
was
showing.
in there for 29 minutes plus.
Dang, man.
Amazing.
I'm surprised on there that they put him in for that long. It's based on what happened at Takeover the night before.
You
Yeah.
see how long that match was at Takeover. That Takeover match had to be
The
at least
Takeover match
30
was
minutes,
over
right?
30 minutes.
It was
Was it?
at least 30.
Yeah.
Amazing match. Just to touch on that.
Yeah,
Oh,
no
yeah.
kid. Like, I was going to say that too. I was like, I don't know if NXT was on the list for later, but
Oh yeah, we're totally going to talk about that. It was great.
the match was incredible.
32-minute match.
32
that was.
minutes.
32 minutes.
I thought it was very long and very good. I'd like to see those two go in an Iron Man match someday, maybe.
Oh, dude, the chemistry between those two is ridiculously good.
Being Johnny Gargano and Almas.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good.
Other surprise entrance, Adam Cole. Of
Adam
course,
Cole.
Adam
number
Cole.
23, who only lasted 6 minutes.
Another one after a really intense match the night before.
Oh my gosh, that match hurt. It hurt to watch.
Yeah. No, it did. It did. Like, my wife was sitting on the couch with me watching parts of that, and she kept like, and like covering her eyes. Like, she was like, this is too much. This is too much. And they went extreme.
I was watching. My wife was working at the time, and she's in the dining room working on her computer, and she's just like, what's going on? Because all she hears is, oh no, what are you doing?
Oh man, yeah, it was intense, man. It was
Very
intense,
much so.
for sure.
And then he came in, ironically wrapped up like a fish.
Yeah,
Like a bobby fish?
like a bobby fish.
That's where I was going. That's where I was going with that.
Hurricane number 21.
I laughed so hard at that,
That was good.
and Tiana, my wife, was just like, "What's so funny? I don't get it." And it was like, because it's the hurricane.
It's a hurricane. Yeah. It's actually funny. So a friend of mine went to the Rumble. And earlier in the day we were in like a big group chat, and he was like, "Oh, I think I just saw like a surprise Rumble entry, but I won't say anything." I was like, "Good, like don't." And then afterwards, he was like, "That's who I saw. That was so cool." And then it's just kind of fun to be able to see people in that environment. But he said that the arena just exploded when he came out, and that's pretty cool to be able to see.
That's so funny. Especially because, like, Hurricane wasn't... He was, like, a goofy character, but he didn't really do much in his run, you know?
He didn't do a ton in his WWE run, but, man, Shane Helms in his WCW...
Oh,
like,
no.
He was... I mean, they kind of all really started all the crazy high-flying stuff, even before, Edge and Christian and the Hardys and the Dudleys were starting to do it. They were doing some crazy stuff down there, and then,
Well, like, Shane Helms and Shannon Moore were
Yeah.
WCW's answer to the Hardys. They
Yep.
kind of debuted at the time. That's when they did the whole, like, 3-count stuff.
Yep.
But the Hardys started booming, and they're like, oh, let's go ahead and have these guys start doing crazy stuff. And, of course, they have that connection with Omega.
Yep.
It was just WCW's version of the Hardys.
Yep.
I every time I see him come in with the cape on, though, the part from The Incredibles where Edna's
No
talking about no
capes.
capes on there. I'm just like, it's gonna get caught on something and he's gonna choke, and I'm gonna watch this guy get strangled.
Edna Mode, I love her. Excited for Incredibles 2. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, I know the hurricane too, and then I'm sure you guys saw the photo of Reigns and the hurricane talking backstage because, as you know, Hurricane's partner was his Roman Reigns' brother, Rosie, for a long time,
right,
and who's no longer with us, and that's really cool to kind of have those two have a moment backstage, because I'm sure that Roman probably met Hurricane 15 years ago when Roman was like 16, 17, 18, 19 years old. Like, they met somewhere when they were younger, and there was like, oh yeah, you're tagging with my older brother, cool. And like, Roman was still just a football star at that time and was like not sure about the wrestling business, and then ended up coming this way. I think that's a really cool moment, like a really cool picture that someone was able to capture backstage.
I agree. Number 27, Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Big surprise.
Yeah.
Nobody saw coming.
He looked good.
Yeah,
Really
He looked good. He looked
he was in shape.
great in the ring. Yeah.
I mean, if you've not seen Rey Mysterio since the last time he was in WWE, you've probably missed out on him being in Lucha Underground during seasons 2 and 3, I believe.
I've recently I didn't watch it on TV because I don't have cable or anything like that. But thank you.
I'm just kidding. Cable sucks.
I just started watching it on like Netflix and stuff like that as it's been coming. So I haven't gotten all the way through season 1 yet. So slowly, because you can only take so much wrestling per day.
There's a lot of wrestling content out there. I mean, WWE puts out like 1 million hours a week already.
Yeah.
Plus trying to watch anybody else. No, there's a lot. But Ray was there in Lucha Underground for a long time, but he looked almost too big in Lucha Underground. Like, I don't know if he was on a different workout regimen, but he just looked really fit, really healthy. He looked like, I think, Adam, you said it earlier, he looked like the old Rey Mysterio. Like, he just looked fit and moved quick. And
I just dug his outfit. His outfit looked like, again, he wasn't in baggy pants, and it just looked like old school Rey Mysterio. And he could still go. He was still doing some amazing things in the ring. Of course, 619, everybody popped for.
619.
He did the double 619, right?
He did the double as well. He did a single and a double.
I think it was on Cena and...
Oh, yeah. That was a part on there. We had to rewind and watch it again because when Cena and Reigns are there, I think it was Cena and Reigns getting the double 619, you can see Cena turn his head and tell Reigns something just before it happens. Like, you can see Cena like turn his head and be like telling Reigns what to do to take the 619.
Yeah.
We had to stop and go back again because Tiana was very proud. She caught her first like botch-esque moment.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's funny.
And the final surprise entrant for the men was my pick to win it all. Number 30, Dolph Ziggler.
Yay!
It lasted for 2 minutes and 1 second.
Adam cried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought for sure.
Whole box of tissues.
When he popped up, I was like, dude, he's gonna win. This is it. They're gonna give it to Dolph.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do anything. He
I know.
doubles a couple super kicks and he's out.
I can see if Dolph comes into if Dolph decides that he's going to stay, and if they give him more of a push on here, I can see him next year starting a Rumble and going for that Rey Mysterio record.
Oh.
Because we've all seen on here that he can last in the ring for that time.
I thought Finn Balor was going to break the record this year. I really did. Like they were getting to that point. And I was like, man, if they end up at, if Reigns and Cena had gotten out first and it was Balor and Nakamura and you let them have a match for a little while, he could have broken that record and then lost still, and like broken the record but lost, and that could have been a cool moment, but.
Because Ray has the record at what, just over an hour?
62-12,
62-12, I believe, which beat the last one, which I think was Ric Flair before that.
Which was like 61 from 92. Yeah.
Yeah, if he'd have been the last one eliminated, he would have been in there for 65 minutes. Because that men's Rumble was 65 minutes and 27 seconds.
Yeah.
This year.
That would have been cool to have Balor achieve that.
Oh, yeah.
And kind of break that record. Because that record's been how long now?
That Ray, that was the year he won, right?
That was the year he won.
So that was like 2006, I think.
So it's been 12 years.
Yeah.
It's about time for another record to break.
Yeah.
That was the one right after Eddie Guerrero and Ray was wearing the Eddie Guerrero armband and everything.
Yeah.
He came in the lowrider
it'd be an interesting thing too to have someone break the record, but not win the match ultimately. Because Flair broke the record and won. Ray broke the record and won. So to have someone break the record but lose, it's just at least something different.
Be like the last elimination,
Yeah. But again, didn't happen.
I just want to go back to old Dolph Ziggler. Because why would you have him, especially with him being off TV since, what was it, December or early January when he gave up the belt?
Yeah.
Why would you have him come back in that fashion and be immediately eliminated?
Just to show that he's still with the company?
Yeah, I don't know. Destroy the speculation that he's leaving, I guess. I don't know.
It's just, you have this hype for him to actually do something, and they just pull the rug right from under you. And it's like, oh no, we're not going to do anything with Dolph. He's going to be exactly where he was. That whole thing where he gave up the title is just, whatever, ignore it.
Yeah.
Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain.
Exactly.
I don't know. Maybe it was just to mess with people and be like, oh, look, he's going to do this, and then didn't do this.
Yeah. I don't know. It was stupid.
It was December 19th that he dropped the title.
I had heard an interview with him on another podcast where he was talking about how he doesn't mind at all putting other people over and basically being the gateway. Like the NXT guys have to go through Dolph Ziggler to come to be in the main roster. But if you have him lose all the time, then there's no validity to him being this. It's like if he only ever loses and turns into like a Kurt Hawkins-esque character, then there's no validity to that person. It doesn't give that person who's coming up from NXT any push to beat Dolph Ziggler.
I think the same could be said about, like, he's in this position now where Big Show and Kane were years ago, where they were the big monster and someone would come in, like Braun or Brock or whoever, and they would destroy them. But Kane and Big Show got destroyed so much by so many new up-and-comers that it kind of weakened them being the big monster themselves. And they need that win every once in a while. But I mean, Ziggler did win the U.S. title just recently and then dropped it, which is kind of cool. I actually like that he won it. It was like, I don't want the title.
I just wanted to prove that I could.
Yeah, I just wanted to prove I could, and then go on and do something else. Take some time off, come back and.
Where does he go from here? You guys booked Dolph Ziggler. What does he do next? Was he even on SmackDown this week?
No, he was not.
Yeah, maybe he. I don't know. Is he nursing some sort of injury? Maybe he just needed some time off, and like they called him and said, "Hey, we want you to come for, one match. Come do something quick." I don't know. Maybe he's gone for a while. Until Mania. I don't know. I'd like to see him. Going for the IC title, but that would mean a brand switch or a title switch.
That's like what he's done like forever though. He's always been in the mid card.
Yeah, but do you see Ziggler versus AJ Styles? Like, do you see him being like the world champ, defeating AJ or Nakamura?
I mean, I feel if he was booked,
I can see him and Nakamura.
Yeah,
I don't know about AJ right now.
Yeah,
but
actually, it's funny. As I said it, I was like, oh, I kind of like it. Ziggler versus Nakamura might be really fun.
But that's who Nakamura faced when he first came up.
True.
Was Dolph.
Yeah, he's the gateway.
I mean, I think it's hard to rebuild him now because now he's just consistently going to be the gateway dude.
Or over this year, as they continue pushing on there, if Nakamura wins at Mania, and then say Bobby Roode loses the U.S. title and then starts going for the WWE title, and then you have kind of an NXT rematch of Nakamura and Roode, and then Roode ends up winning, and then Ziggler and Roode going for that title in there because they've already proved that they can have amazing matches together.
That's true.
So if that's the way they're headed on here and that's the program, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, no, their chemistry is very good. Kind of goes to again what we talked about before. There's just the roster is just overloaded. There's so many talented individuals that a lot are being kind of overlooked. Yeah, and that's kind of unfortunate for a majority of them.
And I think that's probably a reason that they have created things like the Universal title where like, we need more titles to showcase more talent. But even then, it's like, even with a 3-hour show and a 2-hour show, still there's people that haven't been on TV in a month.
Yeah.
Exactly. I feel like you need just a lower mid-card title.
Yeah.
Maybe not each show. Even just do like
Well,
an internet title or do a WWE
yeah.
network title or something.
I think a network title would be cool, like something that's only defended on the network or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
That works. And it's kind of like what they're doing in NXT right now. It's this most recent episode of NXT where Roderick Strong is the new #1 contender for the UK title. This is it showing for the first time. I think because when they made the UK title and then it went back to the UK and it's like, oh, it's not on the network. It's not on WWE TV.
We're not seeing it a lot.
So if Roderick Strong wins it and brings it back to NXT TV, then they'll have a mid card title in between.
Right.
Well, and Gargano had a chance at that same title at NXT Chicago, right? Wasn't that him?
No, it wasn't
No.
Chicago because Chicago was where?
Because Chicago was Dunn and Bates.
It was either Brooklyn or...
Maybe it was Brooklyn then.
Oh, you know what? No, it wasn't Brooklyn. It was the one... it was War Games.
Oh, yeah. It was War Games. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, it was like, him and Pete Dunne had a fantastic match.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think more mid-card titles could help if they're being used, but yeah, it depends. Like you said, if people are on TV all the time, but they're always in those top tier storylines, then that kind of doesn't help the situation. Like NXT has the ability to have someone be on 1 week, take the next 2 weeks off, and then be on the next week.
And not lose any.
Yeah, but that's also because of how they're filming it. That they're filming 4 episodes at a time. So, somebody wrestles at the beginning of the night, they might wrestle the end of the night, and that's like 3 weeks later in story time. But I don't know. Maybe what about like bringing back like the hardcore title then?
I don't know, because the way they retired the hardcore title is so meaningful for Mick Foley and just for everything that he's done towards this. I think maybe coming up with some new title ideas
Something
on here
else.
Might be maybe a European title, because that one was merged
I
with the
feel like the European
Intercontinental
title
title.
is just the
The UK title.
UK title.
Yeah, I was thinking about that as well. That it could just be the same thing.
Yeah.
So
Coming up with some kind of new idea. An internet title might be really good, or a network title on there might be really good. But something for the like a lower mid card, upper mid card, main event title.
Yeah.
That way, it just lets you show more people, because you've got more people.
Mm-hmm.
You've got more people, and you've got a way to show it, and you don't want to lose the talent that you have.
Yeah.
Because now, like we talked about last week, or not last week, last show, people like Cody Rhodes going off to ROH. You don't want to lose that talent to do this. And if people aren't being filmed on TV, they can be like, "Hey, I'm not getting what I want here."
Yep.
To quote CM Punk, "I'm not getting what I need here. I'm going to go find somewhere where I'm going to get it."
Yeah.
So what do we think about the winner of Raw, Shinsuke Nakamura?
I loved
The winner
it.
of Raw?
I was.
The winner of Raw.
He beat
The winner
all
the
of
Rumble.
Raw. He beat all of Raw
Of
because
course.
SmackDown's the better show. Duh.
Obviously.
But the winner, I love that Shinsuke won the Rumble.
Yeah.
We talked about this before we started filming, before we started recording as well.
It's a video podcast.
Yeah, you just can't see it.
us.
Yeah. You can't see us.
Oh. God damn it. He just did the Cena wave in front of his face, and
I
hate
did.
Aaron.
Just to annoy Kyle. But speaking of Cena, having Cena and Roman at the end, I think the crowd watching from home, as well as the crowd watching from there, because the last one in Philadelphia is the one that Roman won, and there were huge waves of boo throughout the arena. But having those two in the Lash, I think everyone was kind of like on the edge of their seat, thinking, "Are we going to get a good ending that we want, or are we going to get an awful ending?" And it was half and half for the last 4, because Balor and Shinsuke and those two, and the fact that Shinsuke is the one that came away with it, I was very excited. I was just like, yeah.
Yeah. No, I was very excited as well. It was very cool to see something fresh and new, a little different,
Especially since Shinsuke's kind of been like in no man's land recently, because he lost against Jinder Mahal, and then he's been kind of in limbo up until Royal Rumble, and he's just kind of like, what's he doing?
Yeah.
So it's good to see them showing that they're going to have some direction with him.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely excited for it. It's kind of weird how they did the interview afterwards. They're like, well, who you're going to face for WrestleMania? Like, why does he have to make his announcement right now? Like, he just lasted 44 minutes
Yeah.
in this Rumble match, and now you want him to decide who he's going to face. It was just kind of weird, and I think on SmackDown it kind of went back and be like, well, we don't know if AJ's going to be champion by WrestleMania, so
Yeah.
I felt it was just kind of a weird thing just to have him make his decision right then and there.
I think. Oh, go ahead.
I think that it was just to have just even the thought of AJ versus Nakamura. Because what was it, Wrestle Kingdom 10, where they faced off a few years ago?
That sounds
you
right.
know, and so like just kind of to get the internet buzzing, you know, the hardcore fans are like, oh man, maybe Romania is going to be worth watching this year. You know, even though we all know the hardcore fans are going to watch no matter what the main event is. Like Shinsuke could say that he's going to challenge Jinder Mahal for the championship, and we'd all be like, okay, we're still going to watch WrestleMania because we're going to watch WrestleMania because it's what we do. You know, but it's kind of it's at least a cool way, and you know, who knows, something will change. Maybe it'd be kind of interesting to see if something changes. Maybe if Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens gets the title, and then it's Nakamura versus one of those two, or maybe something really crazy happens. And with what they're doing with Sami and Owens, you could easily add those two to AJ and Nakamura and have a fatal four-way.
Then it would just ruin the Royal Rumble, though.
You think
like,
so?
Royal Rumble wouldn't mean anything. Like,
But Shinsuke still got his challenge. Yeah,
I kind of don't like when they add somebody to the Rumble winners match.
I can see that.
It voids out the Rumble win.
Yeah, and that happened with Daniel Bryan and Batista.
Yes, but that was because Batista was not the right call for the Rumble.
Yeah, that's the other thing. But this one is the right, it is a great call for this. But Batista winning the Royal Rumble on here and the fans' reaction, I think the management of WWE is just kind of like, oh, we messed up.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, I don't think that's the case.
But let's say AJ loses his title.
If AJ loses it and gets his rematch at Mania with Nakamura, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Makes
So
sense.
if let's say Owens wins, so then it's Shinsuke versus Owens, but AJ still needs his title rematch. Then you've got a triple threat there. You're okay with that?
Yeah, I would be okay with a triple threat in that instance, where it was like, because I think they did that with Shawn and Triple H, where they were. I think the match was already signed for WrestleMania 20, and then Benoit showed up and said, "No, I'm getting my title match." Benoit.
Who? I don't know.
Benoit.
Don't remember him.
Chris Benoit.
The other French Canadian?
Oh.
I don't remember him. Weird. I don't think
The
I've seen anything.
the guy that Triple H and Shawn Michaels lost to at WrestleMania 20 came out, and he said, "I'm claiming my Royal Rumble title shot against the World title," and that's how that became a triple threat. That was all right.
The guy who pretty much was Wolverine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Squat Canadian guy.
Yeah.
Just missing the adamantium bones.
Yeah.
But regardless, Nakamura's first WrestleMania is gonna be a WWE title match. The title.
The title.
Not that Universal garbage.
Yeah.
The title.
The top title, for sure. Because make no mistakes about it, that is the top title. Like,
no joke.
Yeah.
I don't care what they ever say about and if they ever try and push the Universal title as the number one title, I don't believe it.
And it's already been like diminished by the fact that it has been. There's only been 3, 4 holders of it. It was Finn, Owens, Goldberg, Lesnar.
Yep.
And Lesnar's held on to it for an entire year, basically just by not wrestling, except 4 times.
That's how you be champ. You just don't wrestle and you can't lose.
Yeah.
I guess. Whatever. Hey, Brock.
Can't lose if you don't show up.
Yep.
I think I read a stat where he's had as many Universal title defenses in his almost year's reign as Kevin Owens did. Kevin Owens had it from October to February.
Yeah.
Like 4 months.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
That's
if they want to build that title back up on air, it has to be on TV, and it's not being defended on
I think
TV.
Brock needs to take time away. Like, I get that he's the big money name,
Right.
and the casual fans will definitely tune in because Brock Lesnar's doing something, and they want to see him yearly. But man, I'm tired of it. Like Brock could wrestle anybody. You could have Brock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, not for a title. I would care the same amount about that match, and I think most other people would care about the match the same as with the Universal title. You know, it just him being champion doesn't add anything for me.
No.
Yeah.
Right? Absolutely.
But again,
It just adds things for Paul Heyman to say.
I'm gonna watch regardless because that's what I do, and I like wrestling. And you know, Brock will get the casual fans in still, and WrestleMania will have 10 million buys. Even though if you're buying a pay-per-view the traditional way and paying $60 a month, I still don't understand that. Like you can get the network for 6 months, which is at this rate 7 to 8 pay-per-views for the price of WrestleMania. Unless your internet
not sponsored
is just like the worst ever. Yeah, I don't get traditional pay-per-view buying anymore.
No.
Yeah,
so weird.
Some people just don't want to pay for internet.
Yeah, and I guess that's just it. Or if you have I guess if you had really bad internet,
right,
and you want to watch,
or if you live somewhere where you have to get like satellite internet or something like that.
Yeah, maybe it's not good there. I don't know.
Although to be fair, if you're living somewhere where you don't get internet, you're probably not listening to this podcast in the first place.
That's true.
Very true.
What's a podcast? I don't understand what that is. That's my accent from someone who lives in a place where they don't have good internet. It's a really good accent.
It was good.
I'm very good at accents.
Yep. So anything else on there with the men's? It was overall it was a good Rumble, and I've watched the last 5 Rumbles.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I just recently finished watching all of them.
All of them.
If anyone is interested, I finished the last one, catching up to this one, like minutes before the new show started. So I was very proud of myself.
That's intense. So you did all the Rumbles in January, right? Like you watched all of them?
Not just in January. I started in October because I had a big long break from work.
Oh, that's
and I watched a big chunk of them then, and then I had to go back to work, so I didn't get to watch them as much. But I powered through the last few like that weekend.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's intense.
Yeah.
That's intense. That's a lot of.
I wouldn't be able to do that.
It's hard to watch. Like I mean, I love wrestling, but it's hard to watch a lot of wrestling back to back. Like it all kind of blends in.
Especially if it's the same match.
It's the same match
over
concept.
and over.
Yeah, there's a lot of similar things. But I mean, I have a hard time binge watching anything. Like if I watch more than 3 episodes of any TV show, I'm like, wait, what happened? I don't know what happened in each distinct episode, and so that throws me off. But that's a lot of Rumbles.
Yeah.
And just the Rumble match, right? Not
Just the
whole
Rumble
show.
match. If I had tried to watch the whole show, I would never have made it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get over to the women's Rumble, which was
History
also
making.
just as exciting, if not more exciting, and the fact that it was the main event
Yeah.
Awesome.
was fantastic.
It was super. I was stunned when they were like, up next, the men's Rumble. And I was like, wait, what? The men are coming up first?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And then 2 whole more matches before the women's Rumble came in.
Yeah. That was great. It was awesome. Like, the women are shining right now in women's wrestling. Not just WWE, but around the world. Like, women's wrestling is kind of taking over again to a point that I don't think we've ever seen it. But the closest we saw it was Trish and Lita in those days back in, the late 90s, early 2000s.
Right.
But it's surpassed that for sure now.
Easily. Absolutely. It's awesome to see the women get the spotlight. Well deserved. Finally, again, we got a women's Rumble, and I was stoked as main event.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So cool.
my wife actually sat down for that part. The rest of it, she was like, she watched the men's Rumble, and then she was just like, I don't care for a while. And then she came back for the women's Rumble, but she was actually invested in the women's Rumble.
Yeah, my wife was as well.
Yeah, my wife ended up not. She went out for a little while, so she got home right around 23, 24. Like I remember, she sat down on the couch. Somebody came out. I don't remember who. She was playing on her phone. The next person up was Nikki Bella. And she popped and got real excited, and she kind of put her phone down for a second, and it wasn't Brie right after her.
Yeah.
So then when Brie came out, and she loves Brie, so like she legit stopped. She put her phone down, like she was fully invested in that match until the Bellas were out of it, and then she got bored again.
I got excited when Brie Bella came out, and I was like, oh, Brie's back.
Yeah.
And then my wife was just like, well, duh. I'm just like, did you just duh me about wrestling?
You know what? I didn't. I know that she had been talking. I watched Little Divas, and when on there, she's mentioned thinking about coming back, but I didn't think the Rumble. I don't know why. I was thinking of every other legend that could come back. I was thinking of every other female wrestler who was on the roster in NXT who could come up, and Brie never crossed my mind. I was just like, she's happy being a mom right now. She's not going to come back yet. She'll wait for something else. But sure enough, she did, and it was cool. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I popped, Not going to lie. I popped. I mean, I like Brie Bella anyway, so. And she looks great, too. Like, for just having a baby 6 to 8 months ago, like, she looked good.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
For sure. Good for
I
her.
was I suspected on there it's like Daniel Bryan's in the back in the back with Birdie watching mom on the monitors and freaking out.
Yeah, totally. It's awesome though. Yeah, I mean the women's rumble. I think it started off a little slow. It took some time to really build up, but by like 15 to that 15 to 20 range, like there was a lot going on. There was a lot moving around, a lot happening. So many cool surprises coming back. Molly Holly coming back, Lita coming back, Trish coming back, Michelle McCool, Kelly.
Nah, not Kelly Kelly.
You don't like Kelly?
She didn't do anything.
Yeah, she. I'm just saying it's cool that she came back. Like
It was cool she came back.
Yeah.
Okay.
she's not one that I'm not going to say like I've ever been like a diehard Kelly fan, but
Yeah.
like just as a name, she's a cool name to come back. Like there's some other names that like it would have been cool to had
Victoria.
yeah. Well, if Maria Kanellis or Maurice weren't pregnant, it would have been cool to see them in it.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, you're not allowed near a wrestling ring when you're pregnant.
Yeah.
WWE really looks down upon that. So, obviously. But it was cool seeing just a bunch of people coming back and like kind of filled it out. And it actually made me remember what I used to really like about the men's Rumble. That when the roster wasn't super stacked, and there were a bunch of other matches on the card, and you wouldn't see someone like, what do we say in the men's? We saw Cesaro, Sheamus, and Rollins, who all had a tag match after the Rumble. We used to get a lot of surprises. We didn't get people having a match and being in the Rumble match.
Mm-hmm.
The women's match definitely had all that. It had all of that kind of the pizzazz of people coming back, the surprises. Maybe that's where we get it for a while now. Maybe the men's is so stacked, the women's will have the surprises for the next couple of years, because I'm assuming that they thought this one was a success, and then I'm assuming that next year we'll have 2 Rumble matches again, which I hope so.
2 Rumble matches, 2 Elimination Chamber matches, 2 Money in the Bank matches,
2
2 everything, 2 Hell in a Cell matches.
You know what? I'd rather see a women's Money in the Bank and a men's Money in the Bank than a Raw Money in the Bank and a SmackDown Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
absolutely. So,
one thing that I was kind of expecting, and I was kind of like. Not really disappointed, because I wasn't disappointed in the match at all. But one thing that I was kind of expecting was more of the NXT roster coming up and showing up.
For sure.
I was like
iconic
maybe
duo.
Like iconic duo.
Yeah.
Nikki Cross.
Cross.
She would have been crazy in a Rumble
cool.
match.
Yeah.
Well, she's always crazy, but it would have been fun to see her in there.
Yeah.
Just some of the other women who had been in the Mae Young Classic and weren't quite, at that level on there. Toni Storm came in or someone like that. Yeah. That'd have been really cool. I was expecting a little bit more of that, and I think maybe next year they won't have to have as many of the legends coming back.
Yeah.
So that'll ease up some space so that
more NXT, less legends.
NXT power can come up.
For all the legends to come in this one. This was the first one. This was historic.
Yeah.
This was something that they all wanted in their tenure or during their time in WWE.
Yep.
And unfortunately it just didn't happen. But now to take part in this historical first one, I think it was great to have all these amazing talents from the past to come in and participate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I felt like that was, as much as I would have loved to see all those girls in the Rumble, there's going to be more. And they'll all get their chance to be in
I agree.
multiple Rumbles.
I'm ready for their upcoming Elimination Chamber, because I was like, that's way more intense.
Yeah, that's an intense match, and I don't know how that's gonna go, but
we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting for sure.
They didn't have an Elimination Chamber last year, did they? At all?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, we did.
Did they? Oh,
Yes. Who was?
It was a tag. Wasn't there? It was a tag title.
That was the one where Bray won. Bray won the title. John Cena won it as champion.
You're right. Maybe it
Yeah.
was the year before that, but I was thinking on there that they hadn't had one in a bit.
They stopped doing it
Yeah.
like 2013 to 2016 or something, and then they brought it back.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I definitely remember the Bray one.
Wasn't
because
there was
we're
one
gonna
year
get into
where
that later.
before the network had really taken over pay-per-view, there was like an Elimination Chamber exclusive network event, I feel.
Yeah, that was in 2015. That was the one where they did the tag
Yeah.
and then the vacated Intercontinental title.
That's right.
So I don't think I'm pretty sure no one was surprised by who won.
No, not necessarily
No.
surprised. It would have been cool to see someone else win potentially, but
Yeah.
then what would that do? How would that help Asuka? I don't know. Nia Jax had a stellar performance in it.
Oh,
Like,
she was
I thought
awesome.
for a moment that it might come down to them at the end, but
That was what I thought originally was going to happen. I thought Nia might come in a little later
yeah,
as a house cleaner,
yeah.
but
But she still kind of did. Like,
well, she did, but
I didn't even realize it, but like at that point, like everybody was out of the ring for a while, either eliminated or under the ropes, and she was just like, I remember watching it, and I was like, wait, did she eliminate everybody? Like, there's nobody in the ring with Nia, and then I realized that a couple of them had gone under the ropes.
Yeah.
But yeah, she did good, but Asuka, nobody's ready, I guess. So
Nobody was ready.
and now we'll see what happens in the future. But
yeah, because we're going to see if it's Alexa Bliss at said Elimination Chamber. We're going to see if Asuka's going to go up against Alexa Bliss or someone
if
else.
Alexa Bliss is still champion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
that's what I mean.
She's defending
Because in Elimination Chamber, she's defending her title. So,
So-
whoever wins Elimination Chamber is basically whoever's going to go up against Asuka at Mania.
Unless she goes for SmackDown title.
I think because on Raw, she pretty much said that she was going
Oh, did
towards
she?
being. Well, it was in Japanese, so I didn't get a lot. But in English, she got, "I'm going to be the champion."
Okay.
She didn't specifically say
The Raw
the Raw champion or the SmackDown champion. She's just going to be the champion. So it could still go either way, but I think it kind of pointed towards the fact that she's going to go towards the Raw championship.
Yeah. No, I could see that. I mean, I like Alexa Bliss. I think Alexa Bliss and Asuka could go. I think Nia Jax and Asuka could go. I think any combination of the talent on Raw.
I think just my prediction is going to be that Nia Jax is going to win the Elimination Chamber, take the title off of Alexa Bliss, and it's going to be Nia and Asuka.
Would be cool.
Yeah.
With maybe some sort of threatening run-in by Ronda Rousey.
Yeah. 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 So I guess we should talk about the elephant in the room now. That Ronda Rousey showing up. What do you guys feel about that at the end of the Rumble?
I was glad she wasn't in the Rumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Same.
I don't hate that she was there and she showed up. It was kind of awkward.
The traditional pointing towards the WrestleMania sign with her was a little awkward.
Yeah.
She doesn't have the
because
finesse of it down yet, but she's new. So
Yeah.
You don't know who she was directing to point at. Usually when somebody points at WrestleMania, they're in the ring with who they want to face.
Yeah. But there were 3 people in the ring, so unless they're going to merge the women's championships and go to like a single women's show, which I highly doubt.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, it was cool. It was unexpected. Like I haven't paid attention to much rumors, and I remember seeing something like that she was in Colombia filming a movie on Saturday. So like she posted it was Ronda Rousey or Lauren Cohen from Maggie from Walking Dead, who's in the movie as well. And they posted a video of them having dinner in Colombia Saturday afternoon or evening. So she must have jumped on a flight like after that and flown to Philly, and that's not a quick flight. Like that's a long time. And that's to get there and hide and go do something like that. It was cool. I kind of wished it had been saved for the Rumble because I think it took a little bit away from the ending.
Yeah.
To have you just had the first women's Rumble. Oh my God. Who's Asuka going to face? Which way is she going to go? Ended on that note instead of ending it on, well, Rousey's here and
she's
pointing.
She's just pointing and saying that she'll see us there.
Yeah, like, I don't know. You know what? Yeah, I don't know what their plans are for her. Obviously, we'll see by April. But, yeah, it was just, I would have saved it for Raw and had that. But, I'm sure that by doing it on Sunday, getting all the news coverage from everyone who's ever covered MMA before,
Right.
more people tuned in Monday night to see what Rousey would do.
And we found out it was nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did she even show up? I didn't watch
No.
Raw.
No, she wasn't on Raw. Although, if we're moving into what's going on this week on there, or do you want to talk about Takeover before we go to that?
Dude, I think we kind of covered everything I wanted to about Takeover. I think Takeover is just a solid show. The last 2 matches were really solid.
I lost my train of thought.
My train of thought stopped.
The Aleister Black match, I really, really liked.
Yeah, I felt the same way. Like Aleister Black match ended with, and I turned to my wife and I was like, that match was incredible. The next match can't top this, and I was wrong. Like I was
so wrong.
I was fully wrong. I was just like, that match. I was like, that's match of the night. That might be match of the year. And then Gargano and Almas came out and killed it. That match was incredible. That's actually my pick right now to be match of the year.
Oh, easily.
I'm sure there'll be other really good matches later this year. I'm actually keeping a list of matches that I really thoroughly enjoyed this year to kind of look at like a year-end review.
That would be good.
Because I kind of forget things. So I'm like, if I don't write things down, I forget them. So
definitely.
Like after I watch a match, I'm like, if I feel it was that good, I'm going to put it on the list and kind of figure it out. So at the end of the year, I can remember them. But that match was just, it was stellar.
Yeah.
And it was a completely different type of match than Black versus Cole.
My big pops from the Almas Gargano match were when Zelina Vega she interfered the first time, which was a really good move. And then when she tried to interfere the second time and Candice LeRae jumped the barricade,
oh man,
I was stoked on that moment.
Good.
But my favorite, and this is just because Tommaso Ciampa at the very, very end coming back because so they had their match because I hadn't really seen much about them on there until I watched the Cruiserweight Classic, and when I watched the Cruiserweight Classic, their match was the best match of the entire tournament for me. And then when they had that big triple threat tag match, and then he turned on Gargano. He turned on Gargano, and then the NXT right after that, and he cut that promo.
Yeah,
I was just like, all right, this guy is gonna be amazing. On his own, because that was like one of the best heel promos I've ever heard. And I've just been waiting for him to come back.
Yeah.
I'm so excited that he's not fully back on there because he still has the brace on his leg that I could see. But I was just really stoked to see that. And I mean the rest of the match was amazing.
Yeah.
But those are just the moments in that match that really made me pop. That and the fact that I was kind of worried for Johnny Gargano with that million yard stare he had at the end. It's like, please check him out. I don't want him to have to go back on injury again.
That's his thing. He does that so good.
He does do it really well.
It was crazy. And if you look at Gargano's back, like he had those welts forming from the crotch like immediately.
Oh yeah.
He didn't pull that. He hit him.
Yeah. No. It was. Yeah. Like I'm curious, like because obviously Ciampa got injured in the match against the ladder match when he turned on Gargano, and I kind of wonder how the feud would have developed if neither of them had been injured and they'd been able to go right from out of the gate. But I think like this long, slow burn on it has just been even better.
Yeah.
You know?
And even when Gargano started his feud with Almas and Zelina holding up the DIY shirt and stuff like that, this kind of like slowly in the fans' mind coming in like, when is he going to come back? He's going to come back. We know this.
Yeah.
But when is it going to happen? It's kind of the anticipation of that has been really good and a really good build.
Yeah.
They just handled it well because everybody knew Ciampa was probably going to come back.
Yeah.
On this night.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be this night too.
And the fact that it was after the match, I think it was better. That's the other good thing about NXT. You know, there's hardly any, as far as the takeovers, it's pretty much clean finishes.
Yeah.
And this is no exception. I thought for sure Ciampa was probably going to come out and cost him somehow, some way. But nope, not till the end.
That's what I expected as well. I fully expected. I either expected that Ciampa would cost him the match, you know, and come on screen, and this is before they showed Candice LeRae in the crowd. I figured that if she wasn't there for some reason, like Ciampa would come on screen and be like, I've got your wife, because like some like really like 90s gimmick of Raw. And then the Gargano would get like rolled up or something, but thank God that didn't happen. Or the other option would have been like Gargano has just won the match and then Ciampa attacks him. But I think actually losing the match was better because now you got Gargano and Ciampa, and Almas can shift his focus elsewhere now, maybe against Black.
Yeah.
I think that could be a good matchup.
That seems like the next
progression.
Exactly.
Yeah. NXT is very good.
It was the first 5-star match given by Dave Meltzer. First 5-star match since Punk and Cena at Money in the Bank 2011.
Really?
For WWE.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did he give Omega and Jericho? Did he give that a 5-star?
No, it wasn't a 5-star. It was like a 4 or something.
Yeah.
This week, trying to think of what all happened on there. We talked about some of it.
Yeah.
Sasha Banks and Asuka had a pretty good match on Raw.
Oh yeah, I saw a clip of Sasha looking like she was gonna die.
Oh yeah,
yes.
That was a pretty bad
dive.
hit. The dive and the kick on there and how she landed on that. That was really kind of distressing.
Yeah, and I'm torn between like I like Sasha's moves and what she does.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't tell if she's being reckless or if she's looking like she's being reckless. That's I don't know. She seems to be okay. She's not like injured, but I don't want her to end up like Daniel Bryan or Paige even in a few years and being like, well, I had a 3 or 4 year run and now I have to stop.
I think they might be just from what her actions in the Rumble when she eliminated Bayley and kind of this more cocky attitude that she came out with in Asuka. I think they may be turning her back into the heel boss character. I'm not sure if that's where they're going because it hasn't just come out straight and said it.
Yeah.
But it kind of seems that way to me.
Yeah.
Trying to think of anything else on Raw that really stuck out to me. Roman Reigns went up against The Miz as a rematch for the Intercontinental title. That was all right.
I feel like I watched that.
Braun Strowman threw a stage on Kane so that Kane could be out for a while, I guess.
Well, did he get elected mayor or whatever he was running for?
And the election's coming up here in this month.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's going to be taking some time off for that kind of stuff on there. So
yeah, makes sense.
John Cena beat Finn Balor to get a place
in
Elimination Chamber, which I thought was really, really weird. I was like, why would John Cena need a spot in Elimination Chamber over Finn Balor? I guess it's to continue because his feud right now with Elias. And Elias also won a spot in Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
So it's right now in Elimination Chamber. It's Braun, Elias, and Cena are the ones that are in that.
And the winner of that faces Brock at Mania, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which means we'll probably end up seeing Roman qualify here in the next couple weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the next 3 matches are on this Monday.
Probably.
Which means by the time this podcast goes out, we'll already know.
Yep.
Who's going to be there.
So if you're listening to this and you already know that information, just know we didn't.
Yeah.
And then SmackDown. I was a little more interested in SmackDown because it seems like the Zayn Owens got a little more direction to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's kind of wallowing in what are they doing. It got a little more direction because now Daniel Bryan is pitting them against one another to face AJ at Fastlane, and they kind of putting a wedge in between their friendship. And I just, like Sami Zayn kind of pulling the same stuff that Owens pulled on all of his other friends.
Yeah. Every friend Owens has ever had.
And the karma's coming back to bite him on here with Sami Zayn kind of taking up the heel character and Owens being surprised at that. So that was the main thing, I think, really from SmackDown, besides the Riot Squad beating up Charlotte, which was pretty cool. And the fact that the Riot Squad finally has some sort of like team unity look to them with their Riot Squad t-shirts. And then Carmella trying to cash in Money in the Bank and not quite getting to do it before she ran off away from Charlotte. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, and then that was pretty much the main two shows.
I haven't had a chance to watch NXT yet this week.
Well, Cruiserweight, 205 Live,
Yeah.
they got a new general manager,
Right.
Drake Maverick, a.k.a. Rockstar Spud from
Yeah.
Impact. And he announced a 16-person tournament for the vacated Cruiserweight title to end at WrestleMania 34 with the new champion.
Well, that's going to be exciting. I did not watch 205 Live yet. So
The first two matches are very good. It was Cedric Alexander versus... Oh, geez, who did he beat? I don't remember who he faced. And the second one was TJP and Tyler Bate from the UK. And that was a really good match. Both were really good matches.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do. I think that this is kind of almost a reboot of the Cruiserweights, which is much needed. And hopefully it just goes back to being a show with amazing talent, awesome matches, and hopefully, people will get invested in this Cruiserweight thing.
Yeah, hopefully.
And if they were to get like Rey Mysterio to be involved, and I think it'd be cool if they had the finals be a 4-way.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a little bit more intriguing for everybody.
Do you think that the Cruiserweights and 205 Live will be on the main card of Mania, or are they going to get shunted to the pre-show?
If they want this, reboot to be successful and to show, if they just put it on pre-show, nobody's going to care.
Yep. I feel the same way, and I feel like it kind of depends on how the universe receives it. Like, if it's well received the next few weeks, it'll lead more towards, like, the main show. But if it's not, if people still aren't tuning in, I think it ends up on the pre-show, and 205 Live is still just kind of where it's been for a while, where it's good wrestling, it's good talent, but the crowds are just not alive for it.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, maybe it's just the length of the shows when they're recording, but I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, it's almost, you got to wonder if maybe it'd be better if they put it on before SmackDown goes live. But at that time, will people show up early? Or they'd be like, 205 Live, they're filming that, so we don't have to rush.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yep. I don't know.
So it's, I think doing it live is kind of hurting it.
Yeah.
Hopefully this reboot thing will work better, and hopefully 205 Live will kind of bounce back.
And 205 taped doesn't sound as good.
Yep.
It doesn't. That is true. If it was in Full Sail, if they were taping at Full Sail. Yeah.
I think we said that last time too. That if they were at Full Sail, I think it'd be a much different experience.
Yeah.
Having the Full Sail crowd there for a 4-hour taping, they're into it more, and they still have those guys show up on Raw or SmackDown once in a while for a match to remind you that there's also this other show.
Yeah.
Or promos to showcase, hey, this is coming up. That'd be cool too. But I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Or just on Raw, because I think that was part of the big thing on there. It's Raw exclusive.
Raw exclusive that tapes after SmackDown.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and making it a Raw exclusive might be part of the reason that it's hurting. Have a cruiserweight match on Raw. Have a cruiserweight match on SmackDown.
Maybe they'll do that again. Maybe after Mania when they have this new champion. If they do another, a new draft, it seems to be them kind of like doing that about twice a year now.
Yeah,
sounds
like once after Mania, once after SummerSlam or something like that.
Right.
And they'll draft and change up shake up the stars, and then they'll
Superstar shake up.
and then they can move that, negotiate that, and they can have some segments with Shane and Stephanie, negotiating things. And that may be where we see the title change, and they put the world title back on Raw, seeing as that is the actually more important title.
Yeah.
As long as Brock stays away from it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Brock can go back to doing UFC or whatever he does when he's not there.
Exactly.
Yep.
Eating Jimmy John's.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, yeah. So that covers everything we're going to do this for this last week that we saw. So now we're going to do something that we're going to start here. We're each going to go over our top 5 Desert Island all-time top 5 male superstars that are on the current roster. So you can't do legends or anything like that, or even people who are like out for right now and they're on injury. So we're going to go over those, not in any particular order. They don't have to be, they're not ranked as 1 through 5. Just the top 5 guys that make us want to watch the show.
Yeah.
So since Kyle complained that he had to do his name last, he gets to go ahead and go first.
Oh man.
For this.
All right. In no particular order, Johnny Gargano, for sure.
Right.
Of course.
Every match that he puts on is just awesome. I just said him versus Almas, him versus Pete Dunne. Like every time that dude's out in the ring.
Him versus Ciampa.
Yeah, him in the 4-way to qualify to get to that match with Almas, him versus Velveteen Dream. Like all these matches lately have just been phenomenal. To steal AJ's slogan. Number 2, or going in the second next one would be Tyler Bate. Again, another guy that just every match you see this guy, I'm just like, I'm impressed. Like how I don't understand how he does the things that he does, but he does them, and it's pretty crazy. Finn Balor on the main roster, again, just pure talent and going, what would we say, 55 minutes in the Rumble.
Yeah.
That's not very many people can do that. Like that's a long time to be in a match. And Finn can go. The Miz, again, just top tier. He's just so good at what he does.
Definitely.
And he really gets a lot of people to hate him.
Yeah.
And that's not as easy, I think, as some people really think. Like, we all think of, this, you just have to say this, that, and that, but like that gets you cheap heat. But Miz just gets like real, like people just hate him.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one of my top 5 would be Rusev. Celebrating Rusev Day. Rusev is just so over.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. This whole Rusev Day thing, it kind of seems like more of Rusev's personality is popping through. Like if you watch Total Divas, he's kind of funny. And then on the show, for a long time, they're like, no, you're just like a foreign bad guy. Don't talk, just be bad.
Yeah.
And he kind of like was, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm bad. But now that he's getting some more humor in it, and him and Aiden English, I think Aiden English is a very good partner for him, and those are my top 5 for right now.
And one thing we forgot to mention on SmackDown, he is now the number 1 contender for the U.S. title, and he looked really strong in that match. Not just like, because you've got Jinder Mahal in that match too, who is ripped and has all the muscle definition that WWE tends to like, but Rusev looked just stronger.
Yeah.
Rusev always looks strong, but just something in that particular match is like he could pick up and throw down everybody.
Yep.
So I really, really enjoyed that, and I've been enjoying Rusev getting a push this year as well.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah, I hope he picks up that U.S. title. I think that'd be a good thing for him for a while.
Yeah. Do you want to go next, or do you want me to go?
Go for it.
Okay. My number 1 is number 1 again, in no particular order. Aleister Black.
Yeah.
Ever since I first saw it, what was it? Was it Takeover Chicago? Was that
Where he made his debut?
where he made his debut?
With Code Orange singing the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
That sounds about right. So ever since then, he's awesome. I love his moves. I love the move where he'll like jump and like sit down cross-legged.
Yeah.
On there.
Yes.
Yep.
He's super athletic for his size. He looks like he could take you out with one kick, which is good because that's
What he can do.
Yeah.
what he can do. So
Yep.
he does that, and he just looks awesome, and he has awesome matches. His match at the last Takeover with Velveteen Dream was amazing.
Yeah.
His match at this Takeover was amazing, and he does really good work, and I really enjoy watching him. And that's the thing that keeps me watching. Not the only one, but one of the main ones that keeps me watching NXT is just seeing what's going on with Aleister Black. Sami Zayn. I really like Sami Zayn since I first watched him on NXT, and I was pulling for Sami Zayn, and I was so upset when he wasn't on TV all the time, and he had all these terrible matches when he was just a when he was a face, and he just wasn't getting the push. And I was like, he's really good. Why aren't they doing this? And now that he's getting this push as a heel, I'm excited. And the fact that he's this silly kind of heel, but he can kind of like the New Day on here, where he's kind of silly and just obnoxious and annoying, but when it's time to go, he can turn it on and he can show that he is there for a reason, and he's in the spot that he is for a reason. Bray Wyatt definitely is on my list. If I were ordering them, he'd probably be my number one.
Really?
If I were, just because he does the best promos of anybody on here. I love his promos. They aren't supposed to make much sense. And ever since his character first came in with the Wyatt family, when he looked like, he was dressing like Max Cady from Cape Fear, which is an awesome movie, and he was kind of doing that kind of gimmick. And now that he's gone into more of this Devil's Rejects kind of thing, and just his whole character, and how it's evolved, and the fact that I never thought he would ever be WWE champion. I was like this guy, and he's gonna be this kind of guy that doesn't need a championship and everything, but he got it, and it was amazing, and I was ready for it, and I was excited when he got it, and
it was a great 30 days, wasn't it?
It was the good times. But yes, I'm a big fan of Bray Wyatt. So just his presence in the ring, and the fact that he's proven that he can go too for a guy of his size,
no doubt,
on there who kind of looks like someone like the Big Show or someone like that, where he'd be winded after 30 seconds. He can go in a match. Shinsuke. I've liked Shinsuke since the first match I saw him on there, and his whole style, his entrance music, his style, his kind of his character, and the flamboyantness of his character, and the way he moves, the fluidity of his movement in the ring,
of course,
is awesome. He's one that's on my list on there, that most of the guys on my list are also really good talkers, except for Shinsuke and Aleister Black. But he's one that's not, but his work in the ring talks for him. It speaks for him. And then the last one, even though, I can't use him on there because I said no one who's off on injury. I was going to say Dean Ambrose.
Oh. You messed up your own list, dude.
I did. I messed up my own list.
This was all your idea. And you can't even follow the rules.
Well, to be fair, I just made up the rules, so.
That's true. This is true.
Making it up as I go.
All right, Piper.
Yep.
Then I would... I probably have to go with Johnny Gargano too. Or no, he's also off an injury. Okay, yeah, Johnny Gargano would have to be on my list as well. The other one I was going to say was Ciampa as well, because I'm waiting for him to come back. Then my list will change. But Johnny Gargano too, just how he can last in a match, and the moves that you see him doing, and just the wrestling talent that you see in the ring, as well as he's one that has the moves in the ring, but also has the personality and the spirit of character in his character on there, that just keeps you rooting for him no matter what. And so as far as people who are still on the active roster and not injured on there, Johnny Gargano would be the fifth one on my list.
Nice, good list.
Those are both very good lists, guys. I dig it. Mine's better. But I agree with most of them, honestly.
Heel Adam.
Honestly, I had Miz on my list, but since Kari said him, I'm going to take him off.
You can keep him on. We can share. We
I
share Gargano.
I still got a solid list.
All right.
So first up, Cedric Alexander, who I feel is probably one of the top reasons to watch 205 Live.
Very good.
He's just amazing in the ring. Somebody who has been awesome since I first saw him in the Cruiserweight Classic and his match against Kota Ibushi, which is really good.
Yeah.
And just his work that he's done in 205 Live, he's really the star. He's kind of had the brand put on his back with everything that went on with Neville and Enzo and Swan. Those guys were the top guys.
And Aries,
exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel Cedric Alexander has stepped up and is somebody that definitely deserves a spotlight, and it's cool just to see him in the ring and do his thing. He's awesome. Next up, Pete Dunne, the current WWE UK champion.
Yep. Very good.
Bate is awesome, but I think Dunne is just leaps and bounds better just as a character. He's somebody that I can see being on the main roster, possibly being a future world champion,
Yeah.
doing something huge there with either Raw or SmackDown. I hope that someday we hopefully get it. I think right now he's good where he's at.
Yeah.
But even just to be like NXT champion, I think it'd be awesome.
Did you watch the NXT pre-show?
I did see him and or just what he said, because I know he kind
Yeah.
of said, I don't care who's in front of me, like, oh, I would go after Brock kind of thing.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool to kind of call out Brock a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe someday.
Just his mannerisms, his facial expressions, everything about him. I think he's just been awesome.
Yeah,
Somebody, again, who I had no knowledge of prior to the UK tournament. And ever since the UK tournament, just watching him and the way he handled himself and, doing stuff that Regal hated and Regal getting in his face,
Yep.
This dude's freaking awesome.
Yep, I agree. He
Next,
almost made my list, but then I went for bait instead.
did you?
Yep.
Andrade Almas, the current NXT champion, I've been a fan of his since really, I think probably this time last year when he had some awesome takeover matches before this past Saturday's show.
Mm-hmm.
He took on Gargano before, and it was a really good match, and that opened the takeover at that time. I forgot which one it was, but that was a really solid match, and him winning the title was definitely unexpected. Nobody saw it coming.
Yeah.
And to see him in that spotlight, be the star of the brand. I mean, he backs it up in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And with Zelina Vega by his side, just added a whole new dimension to his character. And it's really put him on the top. I don't think probably, 2-3 months ago, we would have imagined having him in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now to see him in the Rumble this past Sunday, it was like, oh, dude, he deserves it.
2 or 3 months ago, I didn't think he'd be NXT champion. Like
Oh,
what they were doing with him, I was like, all right, like he parties and he likes to do stuff and he wrestles and he kind of is okay. Like, yeah, but
Exactly.
he's really been showcased lately.
Absolutely. Next, Kevin Owens. Somebody that I've enjoyed again. I saw a little bit of his stuff as Kevin Steen back on the Indies. Just since his debut in WWE, he's pretty much been go.
Yeah.
His first takeover, he won his match, and then he beat up Zayn, his best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And then he showed up on the main roster just a few months later. And before you know it, he's been Intercontinental Champion a few times, United States Champion, Universal Champion. And
Wrestling Brock Lesnar in Japan when he was still in NXT.
Exactly.
And the Beast from the East.
Did he do that?
Yeah.
No, Beast from the East is when he
Wasn't that
lost.
still?
No, Beast from the East, he lost the NXT title to
okay.
Finn.
Oh, okay. Where I thought he came up. Maybe it was one of the Madison Square Garden shows or something.
Possibly.
Yeah, I don't remember. It all blends into my head. Anything from like more than like an hour ago. Yeah.
And he talks. He's probably one of the best talkers WWE has right now. He can get people to hate him. He's great at what he does. Just phenomenal in the ring, and I think that it's awesome just to see him in his spot. How far he's come from being an indie guy to pretty much shooting up the top of the roster has been great. And obviously the WWE's invested in him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they put him in a match against Shane. Not a lot of people face Shane. It seems like only the top guys face Shane.
Yeah.
And to know that he's there is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So no complaints there. And finally, the WWE champion, AJ Styles. Somebody, again, that I watched pretty much none of his stuff before WWE.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I watched very little of his stuff, and it was all right. But he's been the MVP of WWE, in my opinion, for the last, since his arrival at Royal Rumble 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's been somebody to watch, somebody to keep an eye on, always has amazing matches. I can't tell you the last time I saw an AJ Styles match that was not good.
Yeah.
You know, he had great matches against Roman at first, against Jericho, Ambrose, Cena,
Ziggler.
When did he face Ziggler?
That when they on SmackDown when he first made the transition over.
Maybe. I don't remember that one. I'll have to look that one up.
I might have made it up. I don't know.
You might have made it up.
Apparently, I can't remember anything, so I'm just gonna. I don't know.
And I'm excited, of course, for him and Nakamura.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But this is it's hard to say your top 5. There's a ton of people you guys had on your list that I would definitely have on mine.
Yeah, they definitely. It was hard to think of like just 5. I was like, oh, but this guy, oh, but that guy, oh, and this guy, and that guy. Or then you pick people that are injured, and you're like, oh, that's right, they're not even there right now, but I still love them so much.
Velveteen Dream almost made my list.
Yeah,
wow.
He probably would have been my honorable mention.
Yeah, just because he's like Aleister Black on there. He's produced solidly like good matches.
Yep,
they're fun to watch.
Yeah, they really are. Good stuff.
Good stuff. Alrighty.
Top 5. There you have it.
February 24th, Destiny Wrestling, Albuquerque's only, New Mexico's only professional wrestling company, comes to you with DWO Pain Rising. That is taking place at the Cesar Chavez Community Center. Tickets available now at holdmyticket.com. ECW legend, BWO founder, the Blue Meanie will be in the house. Plus, for the first time ever, a women's match featuring 2 ladies who are actually from New Mexico. So check it out, dwowrestling.com. Just want to make sure we get that in.
Cool.
I can't believe we almost forgot that.
Yeah, well, and you'll be able. I think we have another podcast before then.
Yeah.
But still, getting the reminders out there, and you'll be able to meet all 3 of us because all 3 of us are there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Adam.
If you haven't already met us.
Yeah, if you haven't already met us, Adam, the ring announcer.
Yep.
Aaron, amazing cameraman.
Thank you.
And then myself, I get in and I count sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't.
On tax.
Untaxed, man. Yeah, I think my hand is healed finally. Yeah, no more holes in my hand from thumbtacks.
Nope. Music for this podcast, I just want to let you know, is generously provided by Horse the Band. And be sure to check us out and subscribe, rate, and like us on Facebook and YouTube at Freebird Rule Pro Wrestling Podcast. Check us out on Twitter at FBR Pro Wrestling Pod. And keep watching wrestling and keep listening.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Bye.